Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. So here with Erin Chisman, multipreneur. That's what I'm going to call you. Owner
Sure.
of a couple of things. Most notably, the one I think of first is Academy of Sound. But do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, Erin, and talk about some of the things that you have your hands in?
Yeah, well, so I'm Erin. I wear a lot of different hats. I guess the biggest one that most people probably know about is Academy of Sound, which is the private music school that I have in Oregon. Um, I also own something called Elevated Business Services, which is a bookkeeping, tax preparation, and kind of like overall helping businesses with tasks. So virtual assisting, website building, and a lot of accounting and bookkeeping kind of tasks. And yeah, what else? I have a YouTube channel, which has become more important during this time of kind of uncertainty of different revenues coming in. So building up the YouTube channel is kind of a big part of what I'm doing right now. We also sell on Amazon. That's another thing we do as Academy of Sound. We sell music materials and instruments and books and stuff on Amazon. And then we also sell a specific line of guitars on our website for Academy of Sound as well. So those are kind of just like some of the different ways that we're getting by right now, I guess I would say.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and Adam also has his hand in something else as well, who's not with you
Yep.
today. But your husband, Adam, what else does he do?
So he owns a company called Badfish Digital Services, which is a digital archiving service. So he takes people's like old movies, home movies, and pictures and negatives and slides and stuff, and puts them onto a hard drive or whatever medium people want those to be on. Yeah, so he does that. It tends to be the busiest right before Christmas. People are trying to come up with gifts and stuff, but it's fairly steady year round. Although right now with no contact stuff, people are a lot more hesitant to want to like have him pick stuff up or drop things off. So it's been a little slower.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, with all that you have going on, I mean, what are some of the things that you guys have done to kind of adapt to our current reality right now? And I know it's like constantly changing, and quite
Every
frankly,
day.
I don't know when, people are going to see this, but today is Tuesday, the 24th. And I think Ever's official order is going to come down today, which also is going to change things for people as well as that gets clarified. But right
Yeah.
now, as we talk, what are some
Yeah.
of the things that you guys have been doing to adapt and adjust?
So the biggest thing that we've done is we've moved for Academy of Sound, we've moved all of our private lessons online, which we're really grateful that we already had a business model in place to do that because we've been doing online lessons for like bad weather closings, snow days, and things like that for years, probably 10 years, ever since kind of video chat became a feasible option with high speed internet. So we already have done that. A lot of our students have already used that. So there's a level of comfort there that's like it's not entirely unknown like so many other things are right now. So we've got all of our teachers, well, most of our teachers are working completely from home. We've set them up if they need equipment, if they need advice, if they need to practice and get their setup figured out, where their camera placement is and all that. So we've been working with them to do that. And then last week we did have two teachers that came into the academy and set up their online lessons there so they could get a little bit of help from my manager Keith in setting that up the first time, and then now they're transferring back to working at home. So the good thing about that is that all of my employees are still getting paid. As long as we still have students, they all still can be paid, which is fantastic. A lot of businesses and employees are not so fortunate right now.
Um, so just a question out of curiosity, like as you guys evolve, I mean, I know typically you have your academy, so you have your on-site space, correct? And
Yeah.
and people come in for their lessons, but now you've moved virtually. Have you done anything to change with like more offerings, or since you can kind of reach different level of people with a virtual approach, or are you still trying to keep things just like one-on-one instructor student? I mean, how has that evolved or changed at all, if any?
Um, there's some things in the works. There's nothing like official yet, but we're looking at offering more lesson times. Obviously, with the kids being out of school now officially, there's availability that's different, and a lot of our teachers have more availability because maybe a different job that they were working they don't have anymore. So the first thing we're doing, like just today, we had somebody come through our website and register for lessons. The first thing I'm doing is touching base with them and find out if they're interested in an earlier lesson time rather than like a 7:45 at night. We could do like a 2 in the afternoon. So there's some scheduling stuff that's changing. We haven't ventured yet into trying to do any groups. Although one thing that I am sad about is that we had some group lessons planned for our string students, like our violin, viola, and cello, because they always play together at the recital. And we're not quite sure how that's going to work. We're also kind of not sure if we're going to be having an in-person recital in May. It's looking less and less likely every day. So so we're working on adapting, and we are being as flexible as we can be as far as like scheduling um, and trying to figure out if there's a way to do groups in an effective way with music.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's got to be like really tough. I mean, it's one thing to get on and like have a conversation or even like, put this type of thing together and have, a number of people. But I suppose with music where everything's got to be together and working together, that's got to be a huge challenge.
exactly. There's really no video chat software available yet that has zero lag.
Yeah.
Everything has a little bit of lag, even if it's only a couple milliseconds. In music, that matters hugely. So I think that if we were to do any kind of group thing, it would involve like a teacher making a recording and then having a student access that recording and play along with it, and then another student add and kind of like adding it up. So we don't have it all figured out yet. It'd be so cool to be able to do something for those students who are looking forward to playing together at the recital, but we'll see.
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Um, so is there anything that you would like to make sure that the community is aware of, as businesses change and as processes change? I mean, is there anything that you haven't touched on that you want to make sure that people know about Academy of Sound or even one of your other businesses right now?
Yeah,
For
sure. I think the biggest message I would send to the community is that, well, first of all, we hope that everybody's doing okay and staying healthy. Um, Secondly, with kids being out of school and some adults being out of work, if if you do have the means to be able to take some lessons, it might be a really good release. Music can be incredibly stress relieving. And I'm not just saying that because I want more business. I'm saying that because I know from experience how music can affect me. In fact, I've personally been playing the piano every day, which is not something I could say before all of this happened. I mean, I would play, when I played, it was for work. But now I'm actually playing for fun again. And I'm finding a lot of relief in that. And so I would just encourage anyone who hasn't picked up an instrument in a while and maybe wants to, even just to have like a few lessons with one of our teachers online, it might be worth it just to kind of give you something to do and some way to kind of express yourself in a time when that can be really hard. And also kind of give you some exposure to like people outside of your home. It's, there's a social aspect to taking music lessons too. So we have openings and we're taking new students. We're taking adults, children, people who've never played before, people who used to play a long time ago, and everything in between. We'd love to work with you and even just have a conversation to see if it's a good match. So that is what I would say about Academy of Sound. I didn't talk much about elevated business services because a lot of that is pretty self-explanatory, but people still need their taxes done, and I have the credentials from the IRS to do them, and I oddly enjoy doing taxes and filling out forms and
it's really interesting, like an artist musician that loves the numbers. I mean, that's an
I
interesting
know.
thing you have there.
It's the two different sides of my brain thing and like having a good balance for me. I don't know, the whole elevated business thing started because I found that I actually, after a long day of teaching and putting myself into that, I really like to just go in my office and like look at the numbers and make graphs and analyze stuff and run payroll and I don't know. I don't know other people who are like that necessarily. But I am. That's how I am. So if anybody needs help with their personal or business taxes or is looking like to migrate things to QuickBooks Online, like I'm certified in that. So I love helping people with stuff like that. And so I'm, open for business there too.
Well, I think, what you said earlier about taking advantage of the opportunity right now to learn an instrument. I mean, I think that's a great thing. And that's something that I've tried to look at, too. So honestly,
No,
like one
you
of the
used to
things
play. You
I
used to play
know,
guitar.
I know, and one of the things, well, one of the things that I've been able to do now is I've been able to be super consistent with exercise and get like
Nice.
actual exercise every day because there's not a lot to do. And Erin, I have, picked the guitar up and putzed around with the piano as well.
Cool.
It's just a great opportunity to, to try and figure some things out. So
Yeah.
I think it's really healthy too for people to like try and figure out, okay, I'm at home. What's something I've always kind of wanted to do, like you've touched base on,
Yep.
or wanted to explore and haven't really had the time. And now, it's not depending on your home situation. It's not like you always have a ton of time, but I think you probably have extra time, which is
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you on like the exercise thing too, because I've just been like my outlet lately for getting out of the house has been going and taking walks and like discovering new trails around my house and stuff, and it's actually been great. And I don't know why I didn't like put more of myself into that before, but there is more time, and there's also more time where you're like, I gotta get out of this house. It's driving me crazy. I work here, I live here, everybody's here. It's So, yeah, it's interesting how I've found more consistency in a lot of ways during this time. It'll be really, really interesting to see when this is all over how it has changed us as individuals and as a culture, as humanity.
yeah, and how long we hang on to that, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
other side of it too is, I mean, I think we'll see some adjustments in attitudes, but how quickly do we, I don't know,
Just revert back
yeah,
to the
devolve back
default.
to where we've been. So, um,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you were hoping to share with the community, or you want people to know right now?
Yeah, I guess, it's just kind of like a general message and something I've been thinking about during this time is that, like, there's a lot of negativity, and I can find myself really easily getting sucked into like reading every news article and watching every video. And it gets overwhelming really fast and it really messes with your sense of peace. And even like my ability to do my job effective because basically I'm working the same amount as I was before this all happened. Um, I think what I have talked about today is like some of the positives that can come out of this and the thing that you just mentioned about how like, hey, what's, the thing that you kind of always wanted to do and now you have time to do it. So I'm just kind of hoping in general that despite all the negativity and the fear and the uncertainty that's going on in the world, if we can find a way to, I hate the phrase, but I just can't think of another one like make lemonade out of lemons. Um, I really do. I wish there was a better way to say that. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, just to like find the good pieces in it. Like for me right now, it's that like I'm doing puzzles and I'm going on long walks and I'm discovering new things and I'm playing the piano for fun again. Like those are the positives that I'm taking out of it so far today. And that could change week by week. But at least I can say that Academy of Sound does offer for people who are interested in it an opportunity to like get into music again or for the first time. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's all. It's
Yeah.
great stuff. Good stuff, Aaron. Thank you. Um,
Yeah.
is there for people that want to learn more about what you do? Do we have some places they can go to take a look or to reach out or touch base?
Yeah, I mean, we've updated the website so everything on there is very clear that like we're all online and everything now. So academyofsound.org. That's where people can see like what we have as far as openings, and we have like a busy adult package too. If people want to just take like a few lessons, you can buy it and use it like a punch card. And we're selling some really great guitars on there. And if somebody wants to buy one locally, then we don't have to do the shipping. And the shipping can be like $80, so that saves a lot. So yeah, I think the website is the biggest resource. And then my manager Keith and I are both answering the phone remotely too. So if people want to actually have a conversation and ask questions, 608 is where you can reach us.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for joining me today and having,
Yeah,
like you said, it's also just great to like talk to people from outside of your house
it
once in a
is.
while
It really is.
and have
Yeah,
a conversation. So I think we also encourage people to find ways to continue to do that as well right now and
yeah,
support our businesses. So um,
yeah. Are you guys doing okay over there?
yeah, we're hanging in here. We're hanging in here.
Yeah.
I know everybody's house is different, right? So we have we have 5 people in our house. and
Mhm.
with 5 different needs. And so it's a balancing act and time of transition. So I think we're all trying to learn how to respect and provide what people need, in our house to make sure that everybody's taken care of. Because quite frankly, like my boys need to get outside and run and play and do that kind of stuff. And my daughter needs space where there's quiet, so she can,
Sure.
draw or write or work on music or things that she wants to do. I'm trying to figure out how I work when there's all kinds of stuff going around, and so there's just all this balance. But I think we're getting there. I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
the bummer on our end is we're supposed to be in Gulf Shores, Alabama right now, where it's like 75 degrees and
Uh,
on the beach. But instead, I'm here in my basement, you know, in Wisconsin. So, but otherwise,
yeah.
you know,
I know we hadn't planned any trips for spring break, but we were supposed to go to O'Hare yesterday for our global entry interviews so that we can get in and out of customs easier when we're coming and going from out
yeah,
of the country. So they canceled all those, for the time being. And that was a lot. Like we had that scheduled for like 4 months out, because that's how much demand there is for it. So, whatever, I guess.
um, well, thanks, Erin. I appreciate you checking in with us, and
Yeah,
hang
you
in there,
too.
hang in there, and hopefully we can continue to support other businesses around the area, and just like you guys, and continue to
Definitely.
thrive through some challenging times. So, yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. We're grateful that we're the type of business that had a plan in place that
yeah,
we didn't even realize we'd ever have to use on such a large scale, but it wasn't hard to scale up. So, yeah, I hope others can be okay too.
all right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for
Yeah.
everybody who checked in with us and watched this. We'll share some of the links here in this post and stuff so that you can contact Academy of Sound and some of Aaron's other businesses if you have any questions, as well as some of our other local businesses as well. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk soon.